Nanook Metal, tuk tut!
Hello friends, my name is Nanuk Metal and I hope that you are having a good day. Today I wanted to talk about the reasons to cheat in Payday 2. I've already made a video like that over a year ago where I've tried to present some reasons as to why a person might consider cheating in Payday 2. But at the end of the video I've asked for your opinion, for the opinion of the viewers. Over this year, over 1,000 comments have been posted under that video. And what I've done today is I've taken a sample of 200 random comments, downloaded everything and put them down in a spreadsheet and went through the 200 comments and categorized them. Don't mind the stalking pop filter. This whole thing is very ghetto, but it works. So I've got that table in front of me now. I'll place it on the screen somewhere for your consideration as well. Basically, we can have a look today as to why other people might consider cheating. So the first reason, and these are in no particular orders, is people using the DLC unlockers because the DLCs are not worth it. 15 people out of the 121, and although I did take 200 comments, only 121 had actual reasons in them. The other 79 comments probably were talking about something else, or maybe it was part of some other discussion. I just basically discarded them. So the total number of comments that I went through was 121. Another group of people also use DLC unlockers, but they said that they use them not because they're not worth it, but because they don't have the money for the DLCs, and that was 10 people. That's a separate category. 2 people out of 121 said they consider cheats or the HUD mods to be cheats. HUD mods is things like info boxes, ECM timers, drill timers, pager counters, guard counters. Maybe there are other things that other mods might contain. I know that Hawk's HUD at some point, for example, used to contain a radar, and that was quickly removed out of the game because even that probably is like a little bit too cheaty. One person said that they used, again, it's probably they either pirated the game or used the DLC unlocker because they already paid for the game on console, so they didn't want to pay for it again on the computer. Reason number 5, 17 people, another very popular reason, one of the most popular, is people saying they just want to have fun, privately or with friends in a private lobby. This is probably one of the more harmless ways to cheat in Payday 2 because you're not involving anyone who does not want to be involved. However, one person did say they wanted to use cheats to have fun publicly or to troll random players. And this is probably on the other side of the spectrum where you're kind of griefing, I guess. A person might be griefing or trolling other people. One person said that they, I'm not sure whether they were commenting on my particular video or they were talking about the video they made, but they said that using cheats can be used to make videos and make money on YouTube. I found it quite funny, to be honest, because for an average person like me or you, the money that you make on it will never cover. I think even 10% of my time that went into it is not covered at this stage. So I think it's a little bit delusional to expect for anyone to try and make money out of this whole deal. Anyway, the next reason that people consider cheating, might consider or do cheat in Payday 2 is because they want to make the game harder. And you can see in the brackets I said that was partially replaced by the mutators, and that probably was a fairly old comment because people stated things like spawning more dozers. Nowadays, of course, you can do this with these particular cheats, not cheats, modifiers or mutators. That's part of Payday 2, but of course at the time of a person commenting, and a lot of these comments were commented before a certain functionality has been placed into game. So you have to make that assumption that when there's a certain category, it might be redundant at this point, but at least at that point it might have made sense. So in this situation, I totally agree that making a game harder for that is actually a viable way to cheat if that's your thing. One person said that they got peer pressured into cheating, and if I recall correctly, that person said that they had a bunch of friends who were cheating in Payday 2, so they wanted to be part of the group, and they also cheated as well. The best thing that I can hope for, or I can recommend, is that trying to find a company that peer pressures you into positive things, to do some new things, maybe try a new sport or try something, go out there, do a new thing, get a new hobby. So positive peer pressure and get away from the people who are peer pressuring you into negative things. One person said they did not want to appear to be a newbie or a noob. And yes, probably if you cheat your level or you get a lot of money or things like that, you might impress or you might fool a new player, but any experienced player will be able to tell very, very quickly that you're using cheats and you're not going to be impressing anyone worth impressing, to be honest. Reason 11, but two people said that their friends cheated, so they asked their friends or they got money or things like that through their friends. So they themselves not necessarily cheated, but someone they know has cheated and somehow they benefited from it. 10 people, another big group, said that they use cheats to unlock achievements, not necessarily for any particular reason, but for the sake of unlocking achievements. Another group just below, it was 11 people, a bit of a larger group, almost 10% of our sample, said they used to unlock achievements through cheats to unlock mods or DLC mods. And that is a very annoying thing for a lot of people. I myself find it annoying, the fact that I've paid for a DLC, even if I paid like 20 cents for it or whatever it was on a special. But then I also have to jump through some hoops in order to access it. Things like the Arbiter grenade launcher, you have to pick these keys and pick up these containers, and only then you can use that weapon. I find it a little bit frustrating, and it took me a long time to actually unlock that thing, because you have to complete so many heists, even if you do it on normal difficulty. It's just very annoying. So I personally agree that this is not a very good tactic. There are better ways of going around it, in my opinion. But nevertheless, it's part of the game at the moment, and certain people found that they wanted to use cheats to unlock those mods or get those mods. Two people said they wanted to use cheats to feel good about having a high level or a lot of money or a lot of guns, masks, things like that. It's very similar to not wanting to appear to be a noob, but the reason was a little bit different. They wanted to feel good about it. Fair enough. Another two people said they wanted to explore new things or hidden things. I myself use the free camera mode oftentimes to fly around the map and take some nice screenshots for a thumbnail, or maybe film something that I want to use as part of the tutorial. So I totally understand that a cheat like that one can be used to do good things. On the other hand, you can use that very same cheat to teleport yourself into the vault in the Shadow Raid heist, for example, and loot the armor without actually having to open the door. And it's the same tool, but can be used in a very different manner. 5 people found the game too grindy. 3 people said they use cheats to just level up because they either don't have enough time or are too impatient. In both of these reasons, I can see the appeal, where you have other commitments, where you might have kids, you might have you're working full-time, you just want to come home after work and just relax with the game, but you can't really enjoy the game to its full potential because your level is low. So I can understand where people are coming from. And there was another category of 3 comments that I couldn't categorize, because people basically said things like, yes, I use cheat, or I use pirate perfection, or it was a very ambiguous comment, so I couldn't quite make it out where should I put that, so I just left it as I couldn't categorize it. And 4 people said they use Silent Assassin mod. I remember, I'm not sure if it was part of this sample, but I do remember people saying they use it because they find stealthing too hard. On the other hand, people said they actually find it too easy, so they lowered the amount of pagers through the Silent Assassin that they can use, so that they have only 2 pagers to use. This is a good example, I guess, making the game too harder for yourself. But then Silent Assassin on its own by default allows you to kill guards without setting the pager off, not alarm, but the pager, if you kill them quietly without them being alarmed. And I think that's a very misleading way to stealth heists, because you think you are getting better at them, but not really, because you are removing that whole part of actually sneaking around. That's a very hard skill that you only can get with time. I would highly recommend to anyone not to use the Silent Assassin mod, because you might become familiar with the map, and you could use it for those purposes, get knowledge of the map. But I reckon the best way to become good at stealthing in Payday 2 is to start with normal difficulty and just keep practicing until you get it, then go on to high difficulty and do it again and again and again, then do it on harder and harder and harder. Eventually you will get there with every single heist. I certainly, I'm really sure that this is the way to go. The Silent Assassin is kind of like a different path. It will advance you, but at the end it's not going to get you to where you ideally want to be. Two people said they use cheats to migrate between the console and the PC or other way around. So basically they were of a certain level, they had certain amount of money, things like that on one platform, and then they got a game on another platform and they wanted to match it, so they use cheats. Of course, ideally we might want to have this functionality as part of the game. Officially it's probably very hard to do with Payday 2, maybe in Payday 3 that will be done. And you can see examples of that being done in other games, such as GTA 5, for example, where if you bought a game on the older consoles, you can actually move on to the newer consoles. You can move your character onto newer ones, or on PC. And that is probably, again, an example of more or less positive reason to cheat. Again, you might say, well, you know, you should just go through the grind again, it's not that hard. But we are trying to understand as to why people, where people are coming from, not judge those reasons of those people. Yet another reason, 3 people said that they find the game too hard. And that was either because they said they're trying to play on one down and the game is too hard, but if the game is too hard on one down, like I said before, loud or stealth, start playing with on lower difficulties, work your way up, revise your builds, revise your strategies. Maybe you're not using, maybe you're just playing too carelessly, maybe your build is not that great, maybe you need a bit more levels, maybe you should bring Inspire, maybe you should bring Doctor Bags instead of turrets. On one of my videos I got a lot of comments, people saying, yeah, turrets are good, turrets are good. You never see a turret being used in a one down heist. You know why? Because, yeah, they might be cool on normal difficulty, but when you go up there into higher difficulties, definitely using turrets is not cool. But that's a discussion for a different video. 5 people said that they use cheats to help other players, and there were things like, oh yeah, I gave them money, or I gave them levels, or I used God mode and unlimited ammo to carry people through the heist. Again, all of these things are possible to do without using any cheats. That's how I initially started in Payday 2. The reason that I started this channel was because I basically was spending a lot of time playing in public games, finding random lobbies, helping newer players out, and I thought, well, I can do the same thing by making a video or a tutorial or something like that. So I initially thought, well, I'll present them, like if someone wants to watch it, then I'll send them the link or something like that. Eventually it got big enough where people actually started finding the videos on their own without my input. I actually didn't do that because I think that's a little bit spammy, like, oh yeah, check out my video. Like, it sounds a bit stupid, to be honest. In any of my videos, as you can see, there's no need to cheat. You can do anything you want. You can help other players without a single cheat, without using a single cheat. So I'm personally quite annoyed by this reason. I totally don't agree with it, just like I don't agree with the Silent Assassin, for example. But again, 6 people said they use cheats to unlock money, masks, or levels or skins, so it's, again, a little bit different from all the other reasons where people unlock levels or money. It's just basically to, this category was because people wanted to then show it off to other players, so like, check out my mask, check out my high level, check out the amount of money I have, check out my skins, things like that. Again, probably not a very harmful way, but at the same time, any decent player will just look at you and say, well, who cares? You cheated it, you didn't. Yeah. I had to grind for this view. 4 people out of the 121 said they found certain game features, if I recall correctly, was things like zip ties. Like they said, oh, not enough zip ties, I don't have enough zip ties to tie everyone up, so I use this cheat or this mod to have unlimited zip ties. Or they said, well, I can't carry, like, why can't I carry 2 bags at the same time? So I got myself a mod, the carry stacker mod, so I can carry more bags. Again, this is all part of the game, it's all part of the challenge. At times, yes, I agree, it does make the game extremely boring. Look at the Golden Green Casino, where you have to move 30 plus bags, and if you're doing it by yourself, it will take you like 20 minutes probably to get it all the way from the basement to the escape. So I totally understand that it does make the game boring, but not necessarily unbalanced. It encourages you to play with other people so that you speed up that process. Encourages you, in the example of zip ties, again, it encourages you to play with other people, or it encourages you to come up with smart ways to control civilians, the ones that you cannot tie up. And yeah, it's only a partial explanation, because of course there are people who cannot play online because maybe their internet is not that great, or maybe they don't like playing online with other people. I myself spend a lot of time playing by myself. Probably 80% of my time is by myself, because I just like to stealth by myself and do things like that. It's an extra challenge. So I totally understand where you guys are coming from. 3 people said they needed to cheat to compensate for low frame rate. It's probably something very similar to people using DLC unlocker because they don't have money to afford them, and probably similar situation, they don't have the money to upgrade the computer to have a better frame rate. It would be very easy to say, and people said, oh yeah, get a job, get like, upgrade your computer, you cheapskate, blah 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 blah. But again, not everyone in that situation. 3 people out of 121 said they just basically got bored of the game, and there were people ranging from like 50 hours in Payday 2 to like 1,000 hours in Payday 2. So people were saying, I got bored at that stage, or I got bored at that stage, and cheating in Payday 2. They didn't specify, or at least I can't remember what particular cheats they were using, but they said that kind of inspired them to play a little bit more of the game. Again, same thing, as long as they're not using it to troll other players, or to grief, or to affect people who don't want to be affected by cheats, then why not? Why don't you do it? It's completely fine. One person, however, said that the cheats were forced upon them, so they joined someone else's lobby, and then the cheater spawned a lot of bags or gave them a level. That used to be possible in older versions of the game. I'm not sure if it's still a thing, but then you can also complete a heist without anyone walking in. You just basically run a script and boom, the heist is completed, and you get your payoff. So that person got cheated, forced into cheating like that, and they actually couldn't escape the mission, or they couldn't leave the game before that happened. So they ended up with a whole bunch of money and a whole bunch of levels, and they were very disappointed because they really wanted to enjoy that part of the grind. So you can see where there are people maybe had some good intentions, they want to help those guys, but did they really help them at the end? Certainly not that guy who made that particular comment. And the last category, 2 people said that their saves became corrupted at one point, so they couldn't get it from the Steam cloud. Maybe it got overwritten or just got lost, so that they lost their save, lost their progress, and they wanted to cheat their progress back up and sort of match to as of what it used to be. So these were all of the reasons. Perhaps I have not included all of them. Maybe I've missed a reason or 2. I think I've talked about each and every one, but even if I didn't, you can kind of see the list on the screen right now. If there is still not a reason that has been mentioned, because this is not every single comment reviewed, that's only a sample, then let me know down in the comment section below, and let me know what you think about these reasons to cheat. On this note, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you have a good day, and I will see you later. Bye bye.